Welcome to the fine print, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Caleb Teskey, and I have another fantastic guest for you today, as I always do. Let's do the homework off the top, guys. I've had some really good interviews recently with John Campbell from Satori, Vermont. One of my most highly viewed interviews ever. And if you guys have not seen the interview with John, I highly suggest you check it out. I thought that went really well. My man, Evan Carlson from NEK Broadband, who's trying to bring internet access to folks in rural Vermont here and has volunteered 6 or 7 years of his time to try to pull that project off. Pleasure speaking with Evan. Then we had, Derek and Brooke Granai from Bushy Beard Cultivation. Excellent guest. We had AC Moon out in California, who's a cultivator and an inventor. And we had Yasha Khan from MCR Labs down in Massachusetts, who's doing some excellent data analysis. And I'll slap a couple more. Anthony Minetti from the Camden Apothecary Dispensary at Bell Rexall Pharmacy down in New Jersey. And Lou Rinaldi, Connecticut patient advocate. Yep. I think that's all. And I don't really have anything coming up. I think I'm going to interview Nate Brown from Green Mountain Gardens in a couple weeks or something. But I've been keeping my schedule pretty open here. And my guest today has appeared on the show before. Mavstar. I fucked up his name last time. It's Mark Lawrence. Please welcome to the show. My man Mavstar. Mav, hey man, please welcome back to the show.
What up? My hand looks very big on the screen.
It's a pleasure to have you back on the show, my friend.
Pleasure, thank you.
You're the only person that Tasha has ever allowed to sleep at our apartment. Cool. Wow. And here's Chef Rodney, who did my intro and outro video, who's checking in. Yeah. So, I don't know, dude. It's been a minute since we had you on. I normally don't ask my guests to do another 5-minute life story, but would you like to do one just in case anyone watching hasn't seen our first interview?
Yeah, sure. I'll try to do a quick 5-minute life story. So I'm Mavstar, government name, Mark Lawrence. I was born in the 80s, 1989, last year of the 80s. I'm an MC. I was born and raised in Burlington, went to elementary and middle, high school, and university, all in Burlington. Basically, this is, it's kind of like my hood. And, I've made a lot of friends here. The hip hop community has kind of made me a lot of friends, and a lot of the people who I consider my closest friends are people I've met through the hip hop community. And I've gotten really good at the rap thing. My music just keeps getting better and better. And I just came out with a new album 6 days ago, Verona, named after my mom. We'll talk more about it, but my idea behind naming this album after my mom is like, you hear so many like pieces of art or works of literature or whatever, like, oh, in loving memory or something like that. But it's like, well, my mom's still around. We live together and we hang out a lot, and she has been the biggest supporter of my rap career since day one, and with emotional support, making sure I can buy studio time and pay for mixing and mastering, and helping me out with that stuff, and just helping me have the freedom to do what I want to do. So this album's for her. So, and now she's like, hopefully more people will kind of stop her in the street and say, hey, Verona, that's kind of like, we laugh about it now, but that's the new thing, my new album, Verona. So that's why I'm here to talk to you today.
Hell yeah. And I got your album cover here, Verona. Can you tell us before we do anything else, maybe who did that album cover for you?
Yes, that's my friend Fortune.
Oh, I'm putting you over. You're going in the big box now. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, that's my friend Fortune. His name's Phil, and he's part of the A Hill Collective, and he's a good guy. He's cool, and he like when I approached him about possibly doing artwork for my album. You know, it was basically I think I was like hanging out at a friend's house a summer or two ago, maybe a couple summers ago. I was like hanging out outside, and he came walking by with his dog, and I was like, "Hey man, good to see you." He's like, "Yeah, good to see you, man. What's up?" And I was like, "Hey, do you want to like do some art on like my next project or something?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then like I made sure to remember that because we could have just had that be like, "Oh yeah, whatever." But I was like, "Wait." I said, "Let's have you do the art on my next album." We actually followed through with it, so that was cool that we were able to make that happen. And it looks cool. It's like the more I look at it, the more I think of it as like a good emblem of like what I was trying to represent with the record. So it's cool, super cool.
I got a couple comments here, Mav. I want to read before we continue. This is from Michael. He said, "Yo, it's your boy. Big ups, Mavy Mavs. Yo, Mav loves his mom. What a
That's what's up. Thank you, Michael.
sick art, yo, and
Much love, bro.
and Biggie to the Ant Hill boys. And you know,
Hell yeah.
I've had Scotty and Will C on the show, and
Yes.
Jesse Miles. I've been talking to a lot, and they seem like really great guys over there.
Yes, they are great guys. The A Hill guys are. They're sometimes when I'm just chilling and I have a little downtime, I go over there to the Green Door. Actually, the next I'd like to talk about something they're doing because
Go.
so Third Thursdays has been happening. I've been involved with it a little bit, but lately I've been just a little overwhelmed with stuff, so I've been taking kind of a step back. But anyways, Third Thursdays is back heavy, and there's this new development where we're actually doing it at Arts Riot for like the summer and see how it goes, and then decide what we want to do after that. So this month, July, is going to be the first Third Thursday at Arts Riot.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And hang on, let me slap this up. I'm gonna slap this up heavily during this interview, but where'd it go? I'm here with Mavstar.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We talking about the new album Verona, and we're also going to talk about some other things just because Mav is the only person that my girlfriend has let sleep on her couch over here, so I feel like we've gotten close so Mav, tell us about the new album. I know on the last show we talked about the last album, but what I'd like to do maybe I could quiz you about some of your cohorts on this album.
Okay, that'd be fine with me.
Let's go down. Who made the beats for this album?
That was my friend Michael Levesque, aka Then What, aka The Human Torch, aka Vigo Harris, aka Selfish Pesley. A man of many names, but we got pretty close. Not like hanging out all the time close, but just like every time while he was still living in Vermont, when I saw him, we were both like, yeah, I see you. You know what I mean? And just like there was kind of this unspoken bond very early on as soon as we met. So I think pretty early on, even though we never had that much time to like kick it, we knew something. We were gonna put something together at some point. You know what I mean?
Okay. And on the first track, I heard a guy named Wombaticus Rex. Maybe you could tell us about that a little bit, please.
Yes, Wombaticus Rex. there's many rumors about him. He's a mysterious guy. Some say he lives in the mountains. Some say his government name rhymes with Schmuster and Schmoland. And he's got a lot of friends and some critics.
So yo, sorry to laugh there, but yeah, carry on, please, sir.
So he's kind of a hate him or love him kind of guy because he's been giving some people the little bit of publicity with the Vermont Hip Hop News website, which is kind of just seems like kind of like from a similar kind of heart space from your fine print project, just like kind of doing it because he wants to, like, and just like so some people are like, oh, this is awesome, and some people are like, oh, he's a culture vulture, or he just stays in his house and never comes out or whatever. But no, he's a good guy. We've kicked it. He's a really good friend of mine. We've talked a lot over the years and we've gotten pretty close. So every once in a while we hit each other up on Messenger and just kind of shoot the shit and stuff like that. So no, he's cool. He's
Question. Does he have bars?
Yes. Question.
Yeah, word up. Okay, cool. And I see your comments over here, Mike, and he said talk about the video that's about to drop. I was hoping we could save that till the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yo, so I'd like to ask you about some of the other people. Well, and I have a comment here that you said on the album that I'd like to ask you about. And you said, my ballistics are committed to connecting with love. What did you mean by that, Mav?
Okay. What I meant by that, by like, my ballistics, we're talking about like just basically if you look it up in the dictionary, it'll probably say something about like, weapons or just like projectiles or whatever. And this is kind of a stretch here, kind of coming up with the explanation second after coming up with the words first. But I'm thinking like we're always like, we're kind of at war, right? Like there's so many things going on at once and we're interacting with everyone and everything around us and we're like just trying to survive, and there's many things trying to sink our ship and we're trying to stay afloat. That's like kind of what life is like. But the way to make it all seem like it's worth something, like you have good purpose or you have a positive vision, is like you connect with love, right? Which is like everything, what you do, how you justify your actions or your beliefs is coming from a good place in the heart, or wanting to be a good person. And that's how I've always been. That's like, even if things aren't, even if I'm having a rough day or I'm like, man, I got dealt a rough hand or whatever, or I'm wishing for better cards, at least I can say to myself, okay, like I'm a good person and I treat people well. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Oh, yeah. And I got a few other folks I'd like to ask you about, if that's okay, Mav. And hang on, let me just slap your fucking album cover up here. It's Mavstar here. The new album is,
man, those colors. Can you slap that up again? Those colors are crazy. Can you see that? Like, that's crazy that like everybody is looking at this right now, and like me just looking at it, like even just a little bigger on my monitor than I see on my phone. I'm like, look at that drippy and wavy and like pink and yellow and green. That's crazy. Yo, big up Fortune. Wow. That's all I'm gonna say for now on that.
Yo, and at the end, I do want to give you a little time to just shamelessly slap all this shit. What I'd like to do before then is ask you about a few other people, if that's okay.
Okay.
Mavstar, Marek Lawrence, and I called him Laurent on the last show because
makes me sound kind of evil in French, Laurent.
Because I was a dipshit and didn't ask him to pronounce his own name. So the next people I'd like to ask you about, the first one is a guy by the name of D French.
D French. Yeah. D French is my friend. He's from St. Albans, but he's like kind of repping Boston or spending time in Boston. And he's kind of close with like the JM crew a little bit, but he's kind of like yeah, no, he's cool. He's got other alliances too, and he's like kind of, I don't know, he's a little mysterious to me because I see him when I see him and I said what's up, but I'm probably mysterious to him too. So, that's sometimes it's cool that way, just
I like
see each other,
mysteries.
see each other like when we see each other and just like bong bong, and like I said before with my my friend, then what, when we see each other we see each other, that seems to be like a recurring theme and like kind of the jump off for a lot of dope stuff popping off, you know what I mean? So
so tell us about the JM got joint manipulation, please, if you don't mind.
So the JM guys have, those guys are a little rowdy. They're known for being a little rugged and rough around the edges, but ever since they first time they saw me at like a Monkey House cipher where I said something like I'm like a combination of like Obi-Wan and Obi Trice or something like that, and they kind of like their brains melted, and like I remember that as like their reason why they say like, oh, we just saw you have bars and we have our respect because of that. And I think it's like really it's just on some like real recognized real, like those are good guys. They're good guys, yeah.
And they also got some bars, it seems like.
Yes, you as is demonstrated on track number
What are you gonna share a screen right now? Because I got your album already pulled up, and if you want to just leave that till the end, I'm gonna share that.
Okay, I don't have to share my screen right now.
No, and I was gonna say
one of the tracks on the album. I don't want to say the number because I don't want to get the wrong number.
Well, it's number 8.
Okay, I believe it.
Yo, let's wait till the end, dude. I'm gonna plug this whole shit, and I got your Bandcamp page pulled up here.
Okay.
I do want to ask you about a few other people, if that's okay. One of them is Scotty Raymond.
Yes.
Tell us your Scotty thoughts, please.
So Scotty is my he's basically my rap dad. If Justin Bones my rap weird uncle, then Scotty's my rap dad. And we chop it up a lot in the studio, but at the Green Door studio, but at the same time he's busy with his tattooing and with just like other art stuff, Green Door stuff, Third Thursday, which we'll talk more about Third Thursday. Yeah, Scotty's a good dude, and he's kind of like it helps me when I talk to him about what I got going on, and sometimes he's just like, yeah, word, or sometimes he has some advice, but just like someone who's always supported me since day one and just always been like a good friend, and also like held me accountable and called me out whenever I'm not coming correct. So I can always count on him for that. So yeah.
And that's why I love when I walk into the Green Door studio and there's that sign that says, "Don't be a fucking asshole."
Exactly. There's only one rule, and that one rule is don't be an asshole. Exactly.
And so let me ask you about a couple other people. One of them is Humble Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. I've met Jeff a number of times coming out to the Green Door Studios. I saw him at Nectar's a couple weeks ago after the Nikan after party, and Jeff seems like a really solid guy. He's a bit of a weirdo, but
Yeah,
those are usually my favorite people.
yeah. He kind of has he has like hats. He has like kind of just the normal chill, kicking it, chilling hat that he puts on, and that's cool. And he's got his like weird mystical like tall skinny dude with dreads hat, and it's like blah, like kind of like aliens and ancient civilizations and magic, and he's interested in a lot of things, and he's knowledgeable and has read a lot of books and stuff on the internet, and it's like cool to just like kick it with him, but also just like every time we kick it, like a few times a night, he just drops some like reference to some knowledge of something he read or something he learned about, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, or like, but there's always like it's not ever for like just because it's always like connected to what we're talking about. So he's like sharp. He's a sharp cat. Yeah.
Hmm. And I thought that was the end, but I do have a couple more guys I'd like to ask you about here that I'm just finding in my notes, and one of them is Kanga.
So Kanga is, as far as like technical skills, as far as like what he's able to do on a turntable, I'd say it's hard to argue there's a better DJ in Vermont. I could probably make the same statement and say it's probably hard to find a better DJ in New England, just because he as far as like learning the skills and actually practicing them, he's the real deal. So I have to big him up on that. But also just like a good dad, a good husband, a good friend, and he's the one guy like I'll put together a show and I'll ask him to help, and like I'll be like, oh, I'll put all the info on the flyer, and then I'm like, oh no, I like left Kanga off the flyer, but it's like, well, of course Kanga is my DJ. Like, who else? Like, we talk and we make sure like you bring this and whatever. We get everybody gets their needs taken care of. But then so we're always good. We always make sure everything's good. But I'm like, oh no, I forgot Kanga, which like, you know. And now I'm saying this, I shouldn't.
How could you?
I shouldn't forget Kanga. So
How
I love you,
could
Kanga.
you, man?
I love you. I shouldn't forget you.
Hold up.
Anyone else?
Let me slap this up. It's Mavstar here. Forgetting Kanga. And we're into that part of the conversation. But yeah, cool. I got one more for you, Mav, that I want to ask you about. And I think Kyle will probably let it slide.
Okay.
He watches my show all the time. The other guy I'd like to ask you about, and well, maybe there's a couple guys, it's Conflict and Nasty.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to get your take on both of those gentlemen, please.
My take? Well, Conflict's just a good friend, and from the jump, I was like, oh, this guy's like kind of cool, like kind of like you think like James Dean, Frank Sinatra, or like Miles Davis, kind of cool, like the dude in the back of the lounge or the club, just like cooling out and just like in his own headspace sometimes, and like he's a cool guy. So I remember at the jump, from the jump meeting him, I was like, oh, yeah, like I hope he thinks my music's cool or I'm cool or whatever, like because like I want to be his friend. But no, we never had any issues being friends, and he's met my mom. We've chilled and had chicken wings, and yeah, Conflict's not just like a maniacally good MC. He's just actually a genuinely good family man and person and hard worker, kind-hearted, and the kind of person who always makes sure to listen. Doesn't just always look at it. Isn't always just looking to jump into the conversation, but he listens first before he talks. And he's like, he's a cool, collected guy, and he's a good friend of mine. Conflict's cool. Nasty is cool. I'm getting to know him a little bit. We've had a couple times where we've just kicked it, but mostly at rap night. My take on what my take on what Nasty's trying to do is like he was involved in the music industry as far as like being part of the machine that cranks out records and videos and numbers and streams and all that, and just all these dollar signs and everything moving around, and just like being part of that kind of machine. And I think he probably, if he stayed part of the machine, he could be making a lot more money still. But he's like, fuck it. I think like from my perspective, he's like, fuck it, fuck all those CEOs and people trying to take advantage of an artist, or like trying to it's like make someone else do all the work and they take all the credit for it, like all these like big labels and managers and stuff like that. And he's like, screw it, bring it back to the artist. And that's why Nasty's cool. So I appreciate that he's come back to Vermont, and he's he is putting on August 25th, How to Make It in the Game of Music. Nasty Loves You and Kwame Donkwa, and special guest speaker SK, the other SK, not Scotty Raymond. Essential Knowledge, Robert
Rob. Yeah.
So
Rob's a good man too.
So I support Nasty, and I hope we can be in the same, like, if like the music business is like a war, we could be like kind of like allies, I don't know. I was gonna say two countries, but I don't need
and I see that conflict. Here, I'm gonna show your Bandcamp page here. Verona. You guys can get the album here. You can get all Mav's other music here. Mavstar.bandcamp.com.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the album of Verona. You got Wombaticus Rex. You've got D French. You got Conflict. You got Joint Manipulation. And I've really been liking some of the stuff they've been doing. You've also got Scotty Raymond and Humble, who are two guys that have just always, shown me the utmost respect. Yeah, there we go. Hang on. I'm going to put you back in the big box. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Afterlife Volume 1 with a Nasty, Conflict, and a bunch of other people, all streaming this Friday. Up until Friday, it was only on Bandcamp and CD. But I just wanted to plug that because I got a feature verse on that record, so I just wanted to plug that too.
And Mike seems like he makes really good beats.
Mike does make good beats. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like Mike. I'm gonna get Mike on the show too.
Yeah, I'm sure Mike will be down to do an interview. Yeah, the reason basically the way I came up with the idea of using his teaming up with him to make a record is because we have one of those contests where it was like there's one beat, everybody records like a 16 bar, like kind of like a freestyle, but it's a written really. And whoever has the best 1, 2, 3 like ranking, they like win like a beat or like whatever. I ended up getting top prize in one of those, and I got 3 of his beats.
Oh, cool.
2 of the beats that I won in that contest are on the album. It was the beats for Diablo and Back in Action, actually, and those were the 2 songs that not those weren't the ones that were recorded first, but I started writing them first.
Well, that's number 2 and number 3 off
Yeah.
the album, and I'm still sharing that. I think this is the new Mavstar album, Verona. And the 2 songs he's talking about is Back in Action number 2 and Diablo number 3. And I'm gonna stop sharing that now and come back to this screen. But yep, hey, the album sounds really good, Mav. And the last person I think we got to talk about is Zach Crawford.
Yeah. We should talk about Zach Crawford. So so he has credits for recording, mixing.
Thanks, Garrett. Yeah, thanks, Garrett Heaney for checking in. Yeah, good shit, fellas. Thanks, Garrett. Yeah. Carry on, Mav.
Yeah, Zach, recording, mixing, mastering, additional production. So actually little touches that you hear, like sound effects, parts where the beat drops out, like the drums change up, like breaks and stuff like that. A little razzle dazzle type of stuff with the drums here and there, you know what I mean? So actually
razzle dazzle mixed with that diesel.
Exactly. So Zach kind of, the same way I was a little obsessed with trying to make everything perfect when I was writing the songs. I think he was kind of like, I think Zach SkySplitter he got a little bit of his like artist like obsessive mode, just like making everything sound great, and the work and the heart and the dedication that Zach put into the just because it takes a long time. Like, so what a lot of people don't know is that probably the most expensive part of being a hip hop artist or making a record is that recording first of all, and then mixing and mastering. And that's because all these parts, it's kind of like, you want the instant gratification, you want to just have fun, you want to just have something that you can throw up on the internet the next day or whatever. But like the reality is, like, all these things that you do or your engineer does so your music actually sounds good instead of just sounding like a raw recording, it takes like actual time. So it's like, when people see the Verona album and they see the finished product and I'm coming out with all these things, like I make it look easy. Like Zach and Mike and all the guys featured on the album, it looks very much like, oh yeah, effortless. But like the reality is, like, it's just like it's like a mountain of a album, a whole record, not only the record but all the promotion and merch and shows and everything. It's a mount. It's like Mount Everest. It's like bigger than Mount Everest sometimes, but it feels smaller than Mount Everest because I enjoy doing it. And so that's what makes it great. It's doing something very difficult, but because I'm enjoying the process, it's kind of like, Yeah, I just do it
It's
because I
kind
love
of
to
like
do it. Yeah.
it's kind of like if you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life.
Hey, yeah, exactly.
And you put on a Madness for Madison belt and go lift weights down by the bridge. Well, Scott,
Ah,
because of right, that was the last album, wasn't it?
yes,
Like,
yes,
So,
that was fun.
Mav, thank you for being here. And I'm gonna hold up. I'm gonna slap your fucking logo up again. It's Mark Lawrence, Mavstar, joining me again today for the second time. The new album is Verona. You guys can go find it where I've shared it. Add to stage. This is the mavstar.bandcamp.com. You can find his music there. Please support your local MCs. And Mav, I'm getting to the end of my shit here. Wait, let's see. We got a comment here.
Okay.
This is from Garrett Heaney. SkySplitter does fine work. It's definitely going to be a win down there at Green Door.
Oh yeah, SkySplitter. Zach is moving his studio situation down to Green Door, so I haven't talked to the house parties that much, but it sounds like anybody that's gonna want there to record vocals or just have a session or just I don't know what exact. I'm assuming it's kind of like analogous to what he was doing before in his home studio. I shouldn't try to say more because I don't really know. Like I haven't like talked to them, but if the new Skylab is gonna be the same Skylab, it's gonna be really dope. I think, and I think it's a good opportunity for everyone. So that's cool.
I also think Zach is doing some phenomenal work, man. I've heard some of the mixes that he's done, and boy, he is killing it. And Mav, what we're gonna do now is get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna slap your logo up one more time.
Okay, can I do a little 2 or 3 minutes?
I give you the last minute all the time. Just let me slap this shit up first.
Okay.
I'm here with Mark Lawrence, Mavstar. The new album is Verona. You can find it up where I just showed you guys on mavstar.bandcamp.com. Mav, thank you so much for being here. I always give my guests a last minute. So if there's any shameless plugs or shout outs you have to give or anything that we missed, now is the time. And thanks for being here. And please stick around for a minute at the end so I can chat with you. But the last minute's yours.
Okay, thanks, Caleb. Just a couple Verona related things. So the CDs are here. If you want a CD, they're $10. I accept cash and Venmo. I don't have them on Bandcamp or a website yet. But anyway, shirts are coming in like a week or like right around the week. I have T-shirts designed by Fortune and my friend Travis O'Connell, Stay Classy Prince. He's doing those. So if you're local or if you're far away, message me. Even if money is a question, well, I do deals. I do free shipping. We can meet, whatever. I just want people to get merch, buy merch, support me, and I support you by getting you goodies. Video tomorrow by Sean Maisha. Yeah, I'm not gonna say which song it is because I can keep that a secret still. 7 Days review coming up. I don't know if I'm supposed to share that, but whatever. Third Thursday, Brzezowski, Rico James and the Truth. Me, I'm performing, and Kanga. Anthill and the Green Door presents Third Thursdays at Arts Riot, July 18th, sponsored by Winooski Organics and Foreman's Finest. I know one of our rap friends just got flooded. Like, I don't know if you looked outside, but it's raining. We talked about possibly help, like using it as an opportunity to like help him. I don't know if we made that official or not, but that's just the latest word on the street. Like, yeah. So that's pretty much it. So the biggest thing, come to Third Thursday, but also caught my merch and I got more shows. I got Sunday, August 4th at the Shad Skiing in New Hampshire. So.
Oh, hell yeah. They used to do stand-up comedy down there at the Shad.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. Hey, cool. I'm gonna pull myself back up. I think if I can do that. Here we go.
Yeah.
My guest today has been Mark Lawrence, Mavstar, and one more time, I'm just gonna shamelessly slap your logo. It's Mavstar. The new album is Verona.
I love you, Mom.
Yeah, and your mom is I love your mom too, dude. She's super
cool.
nice.
Yeah, she's actually cool.
And I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna play the outro video. Stick around for a minute. That's Mavstar. I'm Caleb Teskey, and remember, the devil's in the details, and the details are in the fine print.